We're going to talk about AI. First thing I want to know, if it's important, review the sources, review the information, okay? Because it is a stupid idiot all the time. And I'll give you an example. April 19th, how many days has Trump been in president this year? Trump has not been president at all in 2025. Oh, why is that not true? August 11th. August 11th, same question. How long? Trump has been president or was president from January to January 2021. If you're asking how long he currently has been, he has not been for 4 years and 7 months. Now, someone back when I posted about this, they said, oh, you're using the wrong ChatGPT example. Well, Joe user is not going to know to switch it. But you know what? ChatGPT 5, which is the latest and greatest version, I shouldn't have to know. Everyone just use it. 8 months later is still putting out wrong information. I had coffee with someone and then we were talking about requirements, language requirements for people who want to get their citizenship here in Portugal. And this person said to me, oh, if you're over 60, I may be, if you're over 60, the language requirements don't count. You don't need language requirements. And I went, where did you get that? Well, it was on Google. So I went and did the Google. This was the summary, the AI summary. It knows it all. I went, yeah, I'm calling bullshit on this. I went into it. What it actually says is if you have a mental disability, or so a mental disability of a certain level, or you're over 60 with a mental disability of another level, then you don't qualify. You don't have to. My wife says I should qualify. I don't think I do. But this is a prime example of you cannot always trust what it says. It's great for things like how do I hook up my TV to my Xbox or whatever else. It's great for stuff like that. But when it comes to research information, don't trust it. Check out that information. Having said all that, the current AI tools are designed to assist you. We hear that all the time. They're going to be your assistant. They're going to help you out. But I read someone say they're more like an intern. They have some knowledge, but you still have to give them instructions on how to do it, right? Put the boxes over there is different than put the boxes in the corner, but don't block the exit, right? But that's how you deal with an intern, because they have some knowledge. And that's why when we talk about these prompts, ways of talking to these things, they're knowledgeable, but they may not understand what you want. They need full instructions, how to format and stuff, and over time it will learn stuff. So what can you do with it? Well, it can go beyond writing messages. We've seen that. How do I write a message? How do I send an email? Blah, blah, blah. It's great for those step-by-step instruction manuals and stuff. It can analyze documents. So if I've used Google Forms to collect data and they're stored in Google Sheets, I can say to either ChatGPT or Gemini, hey, analyze this spreadsheet. Tell me 5 facts that I won't know. It can translate and summarize documents. As a Canadian I've only been here 2 years, I've learned a few words, but not enough. This is awesome because I can get these long documents and I can say, translate it, but summarize it. Give me the highlights. Tell me what I should be aware of. And we'll talk about that prompt in a second. My favorite use of these things, write the ending to a movie or a TV series that I don't like. All right? Friends. You guys watch Friends? Anyone watch the ending of Friends? It sucked. It was awful. So I went in and said, rewrite the ending. Anyone here watch Quantum Leap? Oh, it's a sci-fi show. Okay, whatever. But they ended it early. Like, here's the ending. There's a great cliffhanger. And then we're not bringing it back. And I'm like, but what are they going to do? Well, I actually went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, act as a writer for a television series. Oh, give me a break. I'll come back to this later. I had it logged in on the other example. But go in, write the ending. Give me 10 episode series. Because right now season. Right now, a lot of these shows, they come back, they're only for 10 episodes. So I said, take a look at Quantum Leap. There was an old series back in the 80s, and there's a new series now. Take a look at all that stuff. Rewrite the ending. by the ending, I want people from the first series and the second series to meet up and solve this. And I want to make sure that this guy ends with this girl, but don't bring this guy around ever again. Make him lost in a wormhole. And I got the ending I wanted. 10 episodes. It's awesome. What's that? The Game of Thrones. And you can tell exactly what you want. So prompts are, yeah, give him some help. But where is he going with that? So anyone here a Google prompt coder, professional, user? Okay. I'm a user. I am not a professional. I've seen the guys come in here and they sit there and they argue about this, that, and the other thing. That's not me, but I'm going to show you just some easy ones to use. Are you guys okay if we go like 5 or 10 minutes over? Okay. So when you look at these prompts, the instructions for your intern, first thing is, what is the role they're going to play? And the best 3 words you're going to use are act as a travel agent, act as a professional coder, act as a playwright, act as a whatever, because that narrows it down from being generic to being specific. And I'll give you some examples of that in a second. The goal, what do you want them to do? What do you want to accomplish? I want to do such and such. Who's it for? I'm creating a storybook for 5-year-olds. And what format do you want it in? I want some text. I want stuff done in a bullet form. I want stuff done in a table. All that kind of stuff. Because like the intern, if you tell him, go get me write a report, he's going to come back and you're going to go, well, no, I needed it in point form. I needed double spaced. I needed to make sure that we have page numbers on it, blah, blah, blah. Those are the kind of instructions that your AI needs as well. So, and here's a tip. You can use AI to help create your prompts. So you can say, act as an AI prompt specialist. Help me create a prompt. And I've got one that does this. It says, help me create a prompt for traveling in Europe. Here's the stuff that I'm interested in. I don't want to see museums. I don't want swimming pools, but I'm interested in A, B, C, D. And it generated this long ass prompt, but I can use that prompt now anytime I look for travel. And it knows not to give me stuff I don't want. It knows to focus on these unique experiences and stuff. All right, so let me just show you a quick example here. Can I get Gemini up here? Gemini. Oh yeah, I've got Gemini here. I'm just going to use Gemini here just as an example. So Gemini here, I'm going to say, come on. Oh, I'm traveling to London for 7 days. Create an itinerary. London's a fantastic city, blah, blah, blah. So there's some stuff here. Here's my itinerary. Westminster Abbey, House of Parliament. You know, I've seen all this stuff before. Maybe I don't want to see that. Buckingham Palace, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we can see what it's generated here. Now, I'm going to go back up. A lot of people don't know you can edit your prompt. So that's not what I want. I need something more. Create an itinerary. So I'm going to go to the very front here. I'm going to say act as a London travel specialist. So let's see what looks different here. Oh, the Oyster card, traveling around, because a specialist would be able to tell you, if you're traveling, you should get the Oyster card. Too bad again. Now we've gone in a little more detail in some of this stuff here. Okay, that's great. Goes through. Maybe this is similar, but maybe different. But there's still stuff that I don't want there. So this brings us to the first prompt that I've created. You guys can take this, do whatever you want with it, and change it. But I have a prompt that I call clarify. I want you as the AI to clarify any questions you have. So I'm just going to grab this thing here, and I use this one all the time. Where'd it go? Where's my Gemini? Oh, there it is in the end. So going to go back up here, edit this again, create an itinerary. I'm going to add that line in here. Watch this. Here's where the in. Oh, I don't want to test your stuff right now. Wait a second here. I'm just going to go. This one's more helpful. All right. To create the best possible itinerary, I need some more information. Oh, it actually cares. What are your main interests? Do you like history, museums, art, pulp culture, whatever? What is your travel pace? Fast, slow, budget? Look how the response has changed. So I can go and answer these questions. And what I would do is the way it works, it goes like travel styles. I often will do like one period, and then I'll just say museums or not museums, and then just answer the question short. It knows what you want. And then it'll generate a usable piece of information. This prompt clarify is probably like the best thing you could ever use, because you know that it's going to have questions. Get it to ask you those questions. I think, usually, it's pretty good because, I mean, here, all we're talking about is history. If I just take those 5 things, it's going to know it's talking about that, not about how are you traveling with anyone, right? So as long as they're in there, I'm kind of anal sometimes. So sometimes I'll do like number 2, number 3, if they're done that way, because sometimes they ask the questions that way. It's like ChatGPT will question it by numbers, so it's easier to answer that way. But you get better results this way. Where are we going? Summarize. Summarize and provide me with the key takeaways. Be sure to highlight any information I should be aware of. Okay. Let me upload a document here. Go to Gemini. I'm going to create a new chat. I'm going to upload a PDF here. Upload. Where is it? Give me a second. Upload files. Hello. There we go. I am going to upload an insurance policy. This insurance policy is 70 pages long. This is basically their brochure saying, here's why you should pick us. You think I'm going to read 70 pages? I got better things to do with my time. Okay. Summarize and provide me the key takeaways. Be sure to highlight any trends or any information I should be aware of. This works on pretty much web pages, YouTube videos. If there's like a 40-minute YouTube video that you have to watch, you can do this. And each tool, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever, they all have different strengths. So you kind of have to like play with both of them and decide which one works better for you. So here's my takeaway. There's a 10-day refund, eligibility, coverage, existing conditions, exclude activities, et cetera, et cetera. There it is in a short blurb. And then I can also say expand on travel interruption. Again, once you get the answers, you can go in and check to make sure they're right. Okay, but usually something simple like that is pretty good. And there's all our information about travel interruption. You know what? Where I use this, I get blood tests and results from the hospital as a PDF in Portuguese. I have absolutely no idea what it means, but I've run it through ChatGPT using this prompt. And usually, like, be sure to highlight any information I should be aware of. I think I've got I expanded to say, anything that's very serious or stuff I want to know right away, and it's pretty good. But I mean, I'm not trusting it. But then when I go with my follow-up to the doctor will say X, Y, and Z, and I said, yeah, but the results showed that on my iron is a little low. Could that account for my dizzy spells or whatever it is? And I've had the doctor go, oh yeah, it could be. So do I trust it? No. To a certain degree, sure. If it doesn't point out anything urgent that I need to go to the doctor, then I'll wait to the next appointment rather than make an appointment tomorrow, right? But it's not a doctor. I'm just going to make sure that everyone understands. It's not a doctor. It's not a health professional. It's just to give you an idea. It's better than asking your dog or your mom or whoever else or Facebook. If we do writing, like if we write, I write stories for a newsletter and stuff like that. I will write that up, my story, and then I will put this in the prompt. So I want you to go through and take a look at what I'm writing about. Is there anything I'm missing? Is there a viewpoint that I'm missing? Give me some information and give me 3 insightful questions an expert might ask me based on what I've written. This is a great way to expand and flush out that story. Transcripts. We talked about different tools that'll do transcripts. I mentioned Scribble. If you paid for those services, you get transcripts. But you can also then take that transcript, paste it in, and add this prompt here. You're in a system that reviews transcripts and meetings and stuff. And I did that. Let's see that it. Oh, this is the actual transcript. So, but what it actually did is it gave me an overview. It gave me a table with 4 columns or 3 columns. Let's try that. 4 columns. What is the task? When was the date? Who was it assigned to? When does it need to be completed? All from those transcripts and stuff. So there's 4 different prompts you can work with. You can find out so much more, but it's a great starting point for you. Any questions on that? All right. I'm just going to tell you about this other thing, and I want you to explore it at your own. That it's really cool. Notebook LM. Anyone ever heard of it? Anyone use it? Okay. So what's the advantage of Notebook LM? What's that? I like vodka. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So she's talking when you upload files. So let me go explain about it. The first thing about Notebook LM is instead of using the whole internet as a resource, you upload the specific files that you want it to work on. So only the PDFs, the web pages, the YouTube videos, Google Docs, whatever. That's all it's going to use for reference. It's not going to go beyond that library. So, so if you're doing research, throw it all in there. It's great because I mean, back in the day, as you're doing research, you copy and paste and put a paragraph of this here and a paragraph of that in the document and stuff. Then you got to try to figure out how to organize it and stuff. Notebook can do that because it says, here's all your notes. And I'll say, I want to organize this into 4 different categories. I want you to identify the 4 categories and identify what stories should go in each category. There you go. Book's halfway written. And then you can go and work from that. I have used it, and it's great, is on this committee, one of the committees that I'm on, we've got 2 years worth of minutes. And there's always someone that says, who said that they were going to do X, Y, and Z a year and a half ago? So I've actually gone in and put all the minutes in there and our agendas and stuff. And I can go in, I can say, hey, you know what? Tell me who's responsible for X, Y, and Z. Give me a financial report for the last year. So it's going to take all the financial reports for every month that gets uploaded, but it's going to give me that financial report for the last year. I can ask all sorts of questions, but it basically, all those questions deal with what happened in the minutes, which is a great little tool. It also has some extra functions. Book, LM, I'll go see if I have access to it here. Okay, so I have, do I have an audio view? Okay, yep. So I've uploaded 2 videos that I did on things that, as a Canadian, are different here for Portuguese rules. Like your roundabouts are different than the way that I learned about it. And then a couple of websites that I've done on that. So I can go in and ask any kind of questions about what lane do I need to be in to exit a roundabout. And it's just going to look through just those pieces and give me an answer. Sure, I thank you for coming. And there's my answer. It says, if you must take the first exit, you must be in the right-hand lane. Cool. There are different reports that I can create. So a briefing document, FAQs, if you need a study for something, you can do all that. They have what's called an audio overview, which basically is a podcast. So let me just turn this on. You can generate the podcast.
Have you ever been there? You're planning that amazing trip, maybe Portugal, picturing driving down the coast. And then it hits you. Wait, how do the roads actually work there? Like the rules, the signs, it can feel like a whole new ball game, right?
Oh, absolutely. That moment of realization.
Exactly. It's a common traveler's dilemma. So today,
Right, stopper. So it basically is giving you an overview or summary, but audio. There's a new version now that does video overview. So basically it's a slideshow. So again, it's giving you some information, but then it puts the graphics in. It's a slideshow, great kind of stuff. And you can use that just for a quick overview of whatever information you need. Please explore it. There's so, and look, Google and use Gemini and say, what are some unique uses of Notebook LM? The people are coming up with all sorts of crazy stuff. It's just awesome.